Here.
Trustee Bonner. Trustee Garcia.
Here.
Trustee Greer.
Present.
Trustee Richardson.
Here.
Trustee Claybrook.
Yes.
We have a quorum present. Could we stand for the pledge of allegiance? Could you lead us?
Which is set by the States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any approval or correction of the minutes that was held for the board meeting on July 28, 2020? Any correction be made to the minutes? If there are no correction to be made, I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes of July 28, 2020.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of July 28th.
There's a motion on the floor by trustee Claybrook. Can we have a second, please?
I'll second.
A second by trustee Kaplan. Clerk, take the roll.
Trustee Cap.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia. Trustee Greer.
Yes.
Trustee Richardson.
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passed. Minutes approved for July 28, 2020. Before we open the session to the public, if anyone has anything to say from the public, if you will stand up and give us your name and address the board. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less, please. I'll ask for a motion to open the meeting to the public.
I make a motion to open the meeting to the public.
There's a motion on the floor by trustee Richardson to open the meeting to the public. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Claybrook. Clerk, take the roll.
Trustee Cap.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia. Trustee Greer.
Yes.
Trustee Richardson.
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. The meeting is now open for public statements. Any public statements? Mayor? Yes, sir.
Andrew Johnson. I just wanted to know if anybody, including you, Mr. Mayor, I had my power out for longer than it's ever been out since I've been living here. And I want to know if anybody heard anything where something, we had, you know, the hurricane, we had, you know, the storms and stuff before. And yeah, usually 4 hours, 5 hours tops, you know, power would be back on. But I was wondering if you heard anything as to, well, this was different in this way or that way. Because my power was out, you know, well over 8 hours. It probably more like 12, but you know. So did you hear anything as to something unusual with this? And it didn't really look like it was, I saw some trees, you know, but it really didn't, you know, I mean, you know, it seemed like some other storms were worse than this, you know, than this. So I was wondering if anybody heard anything as to why. And then when you call and try to find out about it, they say, well, we can't give you any information at this time. We're trying to work on it. We can't give you. And all the other times, to my recollection, they would say, well, we expect it to be back on in 3 hours. Or we expect it to be back on this. But they say, well, we can't give you nothing. Yeah. So I want to know if anybody heard it.
Well, this storm certainly had an adverse impact on the region. As of about 4:30 or 5 o'clock yesterday, ComEd had 619,000 homes that was affected in the Southland area. And they got that down to about 200,000, less than that before the end of the night. And right now, the city of Harvard is still having some adverse effects. Markham is having some issues. Phoenix is still having some issues, but to the best of my understanding or belief, I think Burnham is back up, I believe. You know, we haven't got any additional calls today. So,
What was it?
I mean, to answer your question more specifically,
Yeah.
I cannot say for sure, but usually if it's like a major power source,
Yeah.
then something like that would cause it like a major transformer. And I would think that might be in Harvard. And like on some of the streets, I mean, one side of the street has electricity and the other side doesn't have electricity. And the reason for that is because they're not on the same
Grid,
circuit,
yeah.
grid.
Right.
If it was like that, then the whole street or whole town would be dark at one time, and that was a safety issue.
Yeah.
So they make sure that it's set up like that, so we don't have those kind of problems.
We were out by us for 12 hours until like 5.
Well, I know it was longer than I've ever seen it, you know, out before. I've been here for 20 years.
Okay. Are there any other public comments? Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Jerry Hunter, 14147 Green Bay. I was just wondering, on the east side of town where you guys cut grass, there's some areas that I think are being neglected compared to other areas of the village. I know one of the areas over, I think it's Beat 2, which over by your house, Mayor, that I don't know if it's ComEd property or whatever, but I know the village spent a lot of time going in there cleaning that area up, and they go through with the bush hog and the, well, now whatever riding lawnmower they have. And they do a real nice job cutting. They go around the trees. It's always kept real pristine. I know the areas on both sides of the bridge are kept that way, and then there's another area on Manistee Avenue, 14300 block behind the homes, that I know is private property, but that is also kept pristine. It's cut so nice, it's almost like a little park area. It's always kept up, grass is real nice, don't have a lot of hay, around the trees is real nice. But if you come to the east side of town on 143rd and Mackinac, which used to be cut, very nice, I believe that's being neglected. If you go there, you'll notice around the trees, it has to come out at least 10 foot. The grass is this high. It's places where garbage can be tossed. Instead of being cut all the way in the back and going around the trees and making it look nice, it's slowly coming all the way forward towards the street. And we're only cutting about half of what we used to cut back in the day. If you also look at the parkway from 143rd to 142nd, also it's only being cut maybe 8 feet, 10 feet in, and all the trees are starting to hang. So as the trees start to grow, we keep cutting less and less and less. And if you go towards 142nd, or even where the telephone pole is and there's public utilities there, none of that is cut. It's by the wire mill section. I take issue with it because, you know, I know there's other areas that are cut around the village that are even private property that are kept nicer that the village cuts. Let's say, for instance, Raymond Thomas's property, where he's supposedly going to build some kind of ice cream or hot dog place. The village has been cutting his grass for free. I assume we must be, because we've been taking care of his lot since he's acquired it for years and years. We've been taking care of that, and I would say if we take care of, you know, property like that, then you know, if the property around where I live is taken care of, I wouldn't have such an issue with it. Over by Walker, Mrs. Walker's home, if you look in the parkway right there, the parkway's not even cut, the grass is this tall, and it looks like a pigsty there. Why the village skips that, I have no idea. I don't know if she does, maybe. I don't know if you know where I'm talking about, John. Haven't you ever seen it?
Yeah.
How Walker's house is like that? I always wonder, why is that skip like that? You know, well, why is that one little section of town not taken care of?
And your time is up. Your time is up. Are there any other public comments? I'll ask for a motion to close the meeting to the public. A motion on the floor by Trustee Garcia, and a second by Trustee Williams.
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Greer?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
Motion passed, the meeting is not closed to the public. As far as any areas being neglected, no areas are ever neglected. If you look right across from the village hall, on Hammond Street, going east, you know, where the townhomes were, they were supposed to build some additional townhomes. That area there is not cut east of the last new set of townhomes there, and where the foundation was laid there for the other townhome that was never built. That is covered with grass. At some point, we probably will open that up, but I believe that stone and concrete and stuff that's out there, that's the reason why we have not done that. So, as far as the private property,
No, there's always cars there, so maybe that's the problem too.
Yeah.
You probably can't do that because there's always cars on that corner. And some of the residents in that neighborhood have been complaining to me about that business, like how fast the vehicles leave. So we really need to have the police or the chief go there and talk to them.
Okay.
If they're speeding when they leave away, you know, they leave out of there like at the end of the shift or something. Or maybe they're testing cars or something.
we have another that's doing the same thing, so that's, I guess it's coming from the mechanic shop, but okay.
I have to take off.
Well, you can take fault for anything.
All right, well, thank you. Well, the next thing would be in the mayor's report, I would just like to state that, it seems like we're beginning to have more animals like skunks and raccoons and possums throughout the community. So we're asking the people if they would, keep the garbage cans closed, keep the lids down, keep them locked. If you notice, there's a latch on each garbage can, and that's the purpose for that, to keep it latched, to keep the animals out of it. And if you put some oil or something on top of the can, that'll make it slick, and the animal, they will not be able to stay on it, so if they get up on it, they'll slide off. So if you keep some oil on the top of it, that would help with that process. And, we just need to do a better job with the, with the garbage stuff, keep the lids closed. And I've noticed that some people have, said maybe like 2 cans, and they'll overflow one, and it's running up to the top with the lid up, and the other is empty. Why is that? Let's govern ourselves accordingly, and, so we don't have that, issue. So, but the raccoons and the animals do seem to be more prevalent now in the community than they've ever been before. So I'm sure that has something to do with the garbage and stuff, because they gotta eat too, so we don't want that to be a source. So, so if we can help out with that, then that would be appreciated. So, the COVID-19, as we know, is still alive and well, and by now we thought it would have been gone, but of course that's not the case. So, we will have some more mass giveaways in Burnham, but the next time we're gonna do it by community, and we'll do it by each area, and we'll set it up, and we'll probably start in Beat 1 first, and we'll probably set it over by the community center, by the senior center, and we will put a notice out to let everybody know when that's gonna be. It'll probably be on a Saturday, and the residents can come by and pick up additional masks, and we get lucky, we might be able to get some hand sanitizer to go with it, and again, so we can do whatever we can to, help to keep our community and our residents as safe as possible. And the other thing, we are gonna have another electronic waste day. We're asking people to do not put televisions in the alley. We have no way to pick them up, and the homework will not pick them up. We got TVs in the alley, we just junking the alleys up, so please do not put any television or any type of electronic in the alley, because it will not be picked up. It will not be picked up by homework. They don't pick up television, so we have to wait till we have another electronic day. We'll have that, we'll make that announcement. I'm sure it'll be sometime this fall. And the last thing that we put in the letter that we sent out last week, the newsletter, is that rental mortgage assistance. I think Trustee Richardson had mentioned that, so she might want to touch on it a little bit more in her report again. So that's all I have for the mayor's report. So at this time, we'll hear from the clerk.
And place in the night drive or mail it to us with a check, or if you prefer to pay with a Visa, MasterCard, or the phone, indicate that in your registration. Also, we ask that make sure when you make a copy of the registration that the name and address is on the registration, because most of the time the registrations are just showing the year and the plate and when they expire, and we don't know what the name, whose name it's for. And that is all I have.
Thank you, clerk, for that report and your information. Public education, health, and safety and welfare, Trustee Burnham.
Greetings, everyone.
Good evening.
And don't forget, if you have not filled out your census report, please, your survey, please do so. If the census taker comes to your home and does not speak your language, you may request a return visit with someone who speaks your language. Or if they come to your home and you're not there, they will leave you information where you can call or you can go online to complete your census report. It is very, very important to us in our community that we get 100% voluntary response. The General Assistance is a locally administered welfare program. It provides financial assistance to persons who are not eligible for any state or federal assistance and do not have income or resources to provide for their basic needs. Now, basic needs may include your shelter, food, household supplies, utilities, personal essentials, medical and other expenses deemed essential to the health and well-being of the family or the individual. So if there's anyone that is interested, do not have any type of assistance coming in, please call our General Assistance Representative at the Thornton Township Building, 708-596-6040, extension 3184. Now, Access to Care program, that's a program that's been around a long time, and that's for people who do not have insurance also. It targets low-income or uninsured residents, and they help you to obtain primary health care. That includes pharmacy, laboratory, and radiology services. The program also provides diagnostic and treatment for a small fee, and a small fee is very small. But this is a very good program. It's been around a long time, and you can also call the Thornton Township office, and you can talk to a trained medical case worker, and she will go over all the paperwork with you, whatever needs to be done. Again, that number is 708-596-6040, extension 3137. I don't know if you've heard the latest news, but Joe Biden has chosen Kamala Harris as his running mate. Senior carry-out lunches are $1.50 at the Thornton County Senior Center. They're every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12:30. 1420 Huntington Drive in Calumet City. And as the mayor spoke of the coronavirus, these are some expert tips. Wash your hands frequently. Self-quarantine if you feel sick. Refrain from touching your face. Carry hand sanitizer. Don't forget social distancing. Some people are not following any of these rules, and because coronavirus does not care about us. They don't care about our family, don't care about you, they don't care about your family, the children. So let's stay safe by following and practicing virus safety rules. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Griff, for reporting your information. Public Works and Building, Trustee Claybrook.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Earlier this week, the Public Works Department was,
Trustee, can I do the agenda item?
agenda item first, all right. Discussion of, consideration of, and taking action to approve or not approve the purchase of a used 2012 International 7400 dump truck with plow and spreader from Kankakee Truck Equipment, Inc. in the amount of $29,858, which includes title and plate fees. So I make,
Hello, Dale, could you, the board may have some questions, you can give a view as to why this is necessary, for the department, for the town.
Yeah, it's a nice dump truck, got stainless steel body. It also has tanks on it for sodium chloride. It's a pretty nice truck. We took mechanic out and we went over everything. Everything looks pretty good with the truck. So it'll be a plus to add to our trucks we have.
Does the board have any questions? And we also have, the old dump truck, we're gonna try to, sell that will help through the freight costs, some of the costs of this, so we don't know, we're trying to find someone to give us a good praise value as to what, I know it has a bad leak in it, and we've been told that leak would cost from $1,000 to $1,500 repair cost.
Yeah.
So we would have to sell it for that. See, but
okay. I make a motion to approve on the purchase of a used 2012 International 7400 dump truck with plow and spreader from Kankakee Truck Equipment, Inc. in the amount of $29,858, which includes title and plate fee.
I have a motion on the floor by Trustee Claybrook to approve the purchase of this dump truck, so we need a second, please.
Second.
Second by Trustee Richardson, will the clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia? Trustee Greer?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
Thank you, motion passed, so that Public Works will get a new vehicle.
And then a few other items I have, the department was cleaning the weeds and everything from the retention pond also due to the storm yesterday, we had a lot of, trees and branches, you know, on the ground, and, some bigger than others. We didn't get hit as hard with the storm as a lot of other, villages, but we still had our share of problems, and, Public Works was out collecting the branches and, doing the best they could with the, bigger trees to, collect those also. And the ones that weren't collected today will be collected this week.
How late, how late this week are you gonna collect them? Because I have quite a few.
The rest of the week probably.
You put them in the alley.
Well, they were putting them by the, on the parkway, for the most part, the branches, and then they were coming out and
I don't know if you guys
collecting.
like the front or the back.
If you put them in the alley, just know they're not blocking the alley, and stuff like that, so people can have access.
All right, so you reckon they'll get picked up? All right.
They'll pick it up.
That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Claybrook, for the report and information. Any ordinance, resolution, and planning, trustee Garcia?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Discussion of, consideration of, and taking action to approve or not approve resolution number 2020-R011, supporting a proposed Class 6B industrial classification for 2723 East Hammond, Burnham, Cook County, Illinois, permanent index numbers 3006315001, 3006315002, 004, and 014.
Okay, this is a resolution to support a Class 6D, you know, for this, business. And we have, Mr. Dillon here that was staff and explained to the board exactly what a 6D does and how does it help revitalize economic development in the Southland.
Good evening, my name is Dave Dillon. I am a practicing attorney. I've been doing property tax work for over 30 years. The 6B came about because Cook County is the only county in Illinois which classifies property at different percentages of market value for property tax purposes. So what that does is it creates a situation where the goal was to try to give the homeowners a break and put more of the burden onto industry. What happened as time went on, they created, at the time the 6B was created, which was 1978, there were 5 categories of property. Now there are about 12. But the 6B was created primarily because business was running out of particularly Chicago as well as the rest of Cook County. But Chicago was losing big property taxpayers like the Republic Steel Works, U.S. Steel. All of these major properties were being charged taxes far in excess of what they would be paying on their plants in other part of the country. So they got together with the city officials and the county officials, and they said, we just can't continue to do this unless we get some relief. So the law was passed to create the 6B, which created a new category for industrial property in a situation where real estate tax assistance was needed. And what that did, it reduced the percentage at which industrial property of that quality and necessity got a 60% reduction for a 12-year period. So what that did was allow these people to take money that would otherwise go for property taxes and put it back into the business, put it back into the buildings, and most importantly, put it back into the people's jobs, because they were losing jobs in a huge way. So that went on for a while. Time went on and things got tougher and tougher and tougher in the Chicago and Cook County property tax situation, particularly as it affected industrial property. So the problem was, if you were going to get a 6B in the original category, up until then, which they created about 5 years ago, you had to either build a new building, rehabilitate an old building in a major way, or rehabilitate or reoccupy a 24-month vacant building. business was still leaving because of the tax factor. So what they did is they came up with an even more aggressive idea where if a building was extremely distressed and there were unusual circumstances, you didn't have to put the money back into the building, at least not right away. They'd still give you the 6B. So that's the way that works, and really one of the other factors that made it a necessity, because Cook is the only county that categorizes these properties at different levels of assessment. The state also put in what they call an equalization factor. So at the present time, industrial property without an incentive is assessed at 25% of market value. However, the equalization factor is 3, which the state assigns every year. So consequently, the industrial property is being assessed at 75% of market value in Cook County, whereas all of the other counties, it's a flat 33%. So Cook has a tremendous disadvantage. That disadvantage can be overcome by use of the 6B, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight. The gentleman on my left is Tony Dema. He has one business out here already processing restaurant waste liquids. He has bought a building, or he will be buying, hopefully, a building right next to it at 2323 East Hammond Avenue. This is a building which has been vacant for a number of years. It requires a great deal of maintenance to put it back in operable condition. Tony's goal is to put a core sampling business in there where they go down and you drill to see if there's pollutants and things that would make property or land impossible to use because of contaminated subjects. So he's going to do that. This will create probably 8 to 10 new jobs. People from Burnham who are interested and who have an interest and qualifications are going to be looked upon with favor as people who will get those jobs. And the whole process depends upon him getting a 6B. That tax on that building at the present time would be about $140,000. That is a vacant kind of rundown building. If he puts more money into it, it's going to cost him even more, and therefore it would be an unattractive investment. So we're asking the trustees, the mayor, give consideration to letting him have a 6B classification on that property, put the building back in service. It's going to need a roof. It's going to need all kinds of things. And at that point in time, he would be in a position to locate this new business, at least new to this location. He's buying it from another area.
Yeah, and I would like to add that when a building is vacant,
Yes.
doesn't for an extended period of time, then most of the time, no taxes are being paid on it.
No, they have to pay something.
But I'm just saying, some people don't, yeah.
Okay, well, that's right. I mean, it's even worse because if it's that bad,
Instead of they lose it.
they walk away from it and they don't pay anything, and then you got a slum on your hands, and the village winds up having the cost to demolish the building. So you're right, if they're not operable at some point in time, if they can't sell them, then they just walk away from them. You get no tax and you have a cost to remove the building.
Does the board have any questions?
What side of the railroad tracks is it? Is that on the south side or north side?
That's on the south side.
West or south there?
No, that's on the south side.
Okay.
And,
What type of training would a person who could fill a position working at the company need?
Tony?
So, there's 2 jobs in particular that we're gonna be looking for, and it's CDL drivers and diesel mechanics. And I've talked to Dave and he said the Calumet Council might be interested in doing some kind of job training programs. So that would be an ideal opportunity to bring people from the community who are interested, get them trained, they can start working with us, and if they're happy, they can stay. But there's a decent chance, once they get those skills, they'll be able to get even a higher paying job. As, I mean, we should pay very fine wages, but a diesel mechanic can make $100,000 a year once they have experience. We won't be paying that high.
I've talked to Ted Stallnuss, the man who runs the Industrial Commission, where Commissioner Garcia is one of the key employees, and he's indicated very much interested in setting up the necessary training for the diesel mechanics and the, what was the other thing?
CDL drivers.
Oh, the truck drivers, yes, get the appropriate license. And then, of course, Tony will be doing in-house training, at least I believe, as you get these core workers that know how to do that work too, which is a pretty good paying job too.
Sure, I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have or talk about it as little or as much as you guys would like.
And I'd like to say, that I engage, quite a bit with the people in Burnham, business people, residents, and whoever, and probably stay in touch with them on a regular basis. So Tony was telling me that he wanted to do some expansion with the company, and, about a building. I'm like, well, this building here is for sale, so let's see if we can start getting some people to come and let them change the phone number, so the rest of it is history. So, again, I'm not against anybody, but I'm pro-bar. That's why we're at. So, I thank you very much. I'll see you.
I make a motion to approve, resolution number 2020-R011, supporting a proposed Class 6B industrial classification for 2723 East Hammond, Burnham, Cook County, Illinois. Permanent index numbers 3006, 315, 001, 002, 004, and 014.
And there's a motion on the floor by trustee Garcia to pass this resolution for this proposed Class 6B. Could we have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Caplan. Clerk, take the roll.
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia? Yes. Trustee Greer?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes. Motion passed and it's approved.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to do? Finance, trustee Cap.
Good evening, I have one
Good
item.
evening.
Discussion of, consideration of, and taking action on authorizing the payment of this month's bills and last month's bills. Make a motion.
We have a motion on the floor by trustee Cap to pass last month and this month's bills. So could we get a second? Second by trustee Richardson. Clerk, take the roll.
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia? Yes. Trustee Greer?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes. Motion passed. Do you have anything else, trustee?
So that's it.
Thank you, trustee Cap. Public Utilities, trustee Richardson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Starting, yesterday, August 10th, renters could apply for a grant up to $5,000 from the state. It's an online application. You can go to https://www.ihva.org. So, I'm not sure how long they're gonna be accepting applications, but they're gonna be giving away up, well, they're hoping to assist up to 30,000 people, so that's for renters. But starting August 24th, homeowners can go to the same website and apply for assistance with their mortgages. So, money is out there, guys, so, you gotta apply.
And also trustee, Richardson is on the website too.
Oh, okay, it's on the website. Also, there's still assistance for utilities, the gas and electric. And there's a number you can call, and they will call you back and ask for, to get help with your gas and your light bill. And that number is 773-291-0500. So you call them, you leave your name and your number, and someone will return the call and let you know what you need to do. And I want to invite all residents out on August 21st, which is a Friday, at 3 o'clock. The Village of Burnham is announcing that we're becoming a green community, and we're going to talk about the different things we're doing to become a green community. So I would like for everyone to come out, get the information. We'll be showing off our garden, which is outside the community center. And we're gonna give mass giveaway to the kids.
What time?
That's August 21st from 3 to 5 for the residents. Yes, at the community center. So that's it.
Thank you, Trustee Richardson, for your reporting that information. Park and Recreation, Trustee Bonner's not here, so a swing has been ordered for the tot lot. It actually was ordered last fall, but it was so late in the season, so I instructed them not to install it, so hopefully that, that'll be up in a week or two. Kids can get some enjoyment out of it while the summer's still here, since the parks have not reopened. Is there any presentations, petitions, communication, memorial, so that's my business. I did learn that one of the residents, Prince Montgomery, that passed away a couple months ago, even though I just found out about it a couple days ago, so we're gonna have a moment of silence with him. Okay, thank you. Is there any unfinished business?
What's our percentage of census respondents? Has that gone up?
Well, I had to guess, I haven't checked it for a minute, but if I had to guess, I would say it would not be over 62%.
And what about COVID cases? Do we have a number of them?
Well, last time I checked, it was, 150 or something, but something I explained before, that the 2/3 of those are really not affiliated with the residents of Burnham
So that's the total for the 150.
at that time. I'd love to check it out, you know. Is there any new business? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
There's a motion on the floor by Trustee Garcia for adjournment. Do we have a second? Second by Trustee Greer. Second by Trustee Greer. Will clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia? Yes. Trustee Greer?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
My motion passed, and we adjourn. Remember, we don't adjourn the meeting, you can't go home, Dave.